Okay, so we're on. Welcome to this session called Live Visualization as a Life Skill. My name is Ken, I'm with Wacom, and with me today is Marko Hamel, owner and co-founder of Visual Selling, author of 2 books about visual B2B sales, and lecturer for digital sales at the University of Applied Sciences in Vienna. Welcome, Marko.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So Marko, can you tell us what your session is all about?
Yes, sure. Basically, it is about remote work, which is the new normal. But how can we still collaborate and co-create in a meaningful way in these times? It is quite a challenge, but we will use pen and drawing tablet in order to show how people can engage and they can really lead with visuals in business, just with this thing here. And finally, I give you 5 simple visual hacks to discover and understand with live visualization. So, and just simply
That's great. So this is a session with a real take-home value, as I understand. So just for your information, dear audience, we pre-recorded this session because we actually plan to have a studio shoot, but COVID-19 basically, like blows everything up. So we pre-recorded this session with the help of my coworker, Sarah. So we'll play the video and be back for your questions in a little more than 20 minutes. So, and with that, off we go.
So Marko, it's great to have you here with us. Let's talk a little bit about what work used to be like last year versus how it is now.
Yeah, hi Sarah, and it's really fascinating. We're sitting now in a virtual office. All is virtual. The connected ink is virtual. And just in 2019, the world used to be quite different. I just invite you on my Wacom One, and we make some drawings together. And when we look typically in all those offices around the world, how they used to be, you have all these great meeting rooms. Everything is new work. You have screens, you have boards and people, and it's all about people. So when we just see how it was in 2019, people were there, they were interacting, they were talking, and everything was new work. And then I think beginning of 2020, something strange happens. And this little guy who came into the situation, COVID-19, and it came in, and he was not alone. He really multiplied and brought all his other small guys, and they just came into our situation here. And it changed everything. It changed the way we work and the way we live. So COVID created a world in which home is the new office, as you can see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, people need to engage these days in a much more memorable way. And yeah, I really feel like we've reached a dead end, and we need something new to be successful in business. So Marko, how can we make this screen-to-screen interaction more personal, more engaging and flexible, let's say?
Yeah, first of all, let's have a look how it used to be, or how it is. How does it feel for you, Sarah, being in an online meeting?
Last week, I feel like I had 16 meetings.
16, okay.
Yeah, and you feel very confined. I mean, inside this box, everyone is cut off at the shoulders. It's of course very two-dimensional. You've also got this in large meetings. You've got this gallery view of everyone's tiny profile shots, and it really it challenges your mind's central vision, and no one really comes through in the same way, I feel.
I just draw it along because often if we talk about things, we cannot imagine how it is from the outside. So we have the screen. Here we have all these faces And basically, it is just, yeah, somehow anonym, and the only view to the world we have is through this eye here, to the lens of the camera. And the thing is, this is you, Sarah, here, basically. The thing is, then one of these guys starts to share something like this.
Yeah, we lose that added meaning sort of from all of those nonverbal cues that you're used to in person.
Yeah.
And I mean, screen to screen interaction can also be a big drain as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I know it, when you have then this person starting sharing PowerPoint, like I drew here, then the broadcasting begins. And it's basically what I realized. As soon as PowerPoint brings in, you have a visual perspective on the world, but it's limited. It leads to something that let people drift away. And I often compare it to a situation when you have children. So children are in front of the TV and they watch it and they're completely into a mode I call trance mode.
Trance mode.
And whatever happens, they will not realize it. They're really just in another world, in another space. And that's something I do not want when I give a meeting, because I want people to interact, to think, to innovate, to create something together. So trance mode is bad in that situation.
Absolutely. Yeah, nobody wants that.
And so the only way for me is to go out of this situation where you limit your senses to a bit of PowerPoint, small Post-it stamps, and sometimes the bad audio, is to get more visual. So take the big pen, and it could be the digital one, and draw and really help people to understand what you want to do and invite them to do it together with you and really co-create things. Small research back in, I was 2017, because we wanted to find out how people visually think about situations, about simple topics. And you can just draw along with me. It's a nice exercise.
Sure.
And the beauty is, we asked people in front of a train station. We took a pen and paper and asked them, please draw a tree. A simple tree. A tree.
Okay.
And most people, if you draw, created something like that.
God.
Absolutely, yeah. A nice tree. And some people, they created something like that. A Christmas
tree. Ah, okay.
Yeah. And then there was one guy, I asked him, if he could draw it, and he created, wait a bit, and then he started with that.
Okay.
And I was really surprised. He told me he was from Syria, just coming to Germany. And for him, he hesitated a bit because actually this thing is called palm tree, but it's a bush, just a bush. But he has assumed that this would be something that could be a tree. So in my world, so he tried, he did a lot of thinking in his head in order to explain me what a tree is. And this example for me showed something very remarkable, because we have one word called tree, and three different pictures for one thing. And it's a simple thing. And now think about something more complex, what we discuss in today's business meetings and online meetings, like digitalization. Everyone has something different in mind. And I'm curious, Sarah, what would you draw? Draw digitalization.
Okay, digitalization. So I guess just, I mean, right off the top of my head, digitalization, binary code.
Oh, yeah, binary code. And I just draw along with you. So this typical binary code, and it's, yeah, for sure, it's digital. And when you ask people, I had different results in different trainings. I did them for SAP, for EDB, for other software companies, but also for automotive. And the results were like, we had ideas like this one. For them, digitalization was just the huge fridge. And the fridge is just realizing when the wine is empty. And then the fridge is ordering new stuff automatically, and it's delivered then from the delivery guy.
Oh, excellent. So when leaders are faced with these problems to solve with their teams online, how can visualization really help them connect and focus?
The first thing is really, we need to change the way we engage people in a remote setting. So PowerPoint will no longer work. Sitting back and waiting will not work. We need really, when we look at this, how many people are in meetings, they are more kind of reactors. So they wait for any result that might happen. And we need to change this to make them really creators. And this is something
nice.
We could achieve with visuals. But to do that, and that's what we discussed before, it is first important to understand really what the problem, what the topic is. And here I like the quote from Einstein. So Einstein said, whenever I have a problem, he invests 90% of the time to think and understand, and only here this 10% to actually solve it. So, and that's also what leaders could do. First, help people to understand the problem with a pen, with simple shapes, what is it all about, and then think about solving it, presenting results using PowerPoint. I think that's where the magic happens. Because as you can imagine, what we did here, I just crossed the light bulb. Let's imagine I would have started with the Mona Lisa. No one would just go there and add something to the Mona Lisa because it's already perfect. And all you do here is just making it ridiculous. So I don't want to have that. And that's why I go for imperfect things, co-create them. And when we then go out and share them, it is really, really growing. So it's getting better because the picture, what we developed here, like when I put it in a frame, is something people can work with, improve it, and bring in their own thoughts. And that's so powerful in business, in any meeting. And you can easily do it just having a drawing tablet, a virtual meeting, and sharing it and talking.
What about those people that are not so comfortable using visuals to communicate? Because I'm sure, I mean, that's kind of where a big problem lies here.
For them, I have 5 simple hacks, because at the end, it is all about how to connect with people, how to reach them, and how to get the commitment. Having these 5 hacks I prepared, you can, in any meeting, take a pen, take your drawing tablet, and really understand the problem like Einstein did, and then create a foundation to solve it. And let's go in a very practical example. And Sarah, you can draw along with me, because at the end we will create something new. And I always like this way of doing it. So Sarah, what do you think is the most difficult thing for people to draw?
Well, abstract things for sure. So emotions, I think people are also, I mean, you reference the Mona Lisa, but people are really hard to draw, I feel.
What I really recommend to do is make it human. And we will do it in a very practical example now, because we draw a typical situation. I saw at many customers, and we work through this 5 hacks this way. So let's assume we have one guy, and he is part of the strategy team. So I just do it simple, a small circle and a body here, and this person is part of the strategy team. But actually, to make it a team, it's often not only one person, so we have maybe 2 others. So let's add a girl or a woman.
Okay.
And another guy, he's just thinking about a new solution. So we have those 3 people. We made it human, but still it's not a strategy team. It's just 3 different simple figures, and they add some color to it. And to make them really stick so that we can connect with them, to do that, we need a second hack. We need to label it. The words are still important, and the person talking is also important. So let's assume, or let's write down, this is the strategy team. And you see, just by writing it down, these 3 persons, they become the strategy team.
Okay. So yeah, I'm following along with my pen and paper here.
Yeah, and at the end, we will compare and see what different pictures you came up with, and then maybe yeah, there's some gap or something new we can discover that's quite interesting. And we do not only have the strategy team in a typical situation, because maybe we want to launch a new product. We also have, on the other side, we have our person here, and this is again the same way of doing it. Is happy hop. It's the customer, and we add the label again. So we have our customer, a bit of color. Okay, and 2 people are fine, but to make it an interesting story, we often have in most companies also a 3rd group, and I draw them in here, and that's the development team. So the strategy team, the customer, and the development team, and often those guys, they are in front of a PC. So I just draw a nice monitor, and we have our developers here.
Okay.
And again, you see very simple figures. You can even do it like that, and they are just here, and these are the developers, dev team. So they are all in a room, and now it's all about the next thing. We want to find out how they work together. So let's do the 3rd hack. It is about connecting it. What are the relationships? Because people and business is complex. It's not a simple thing like a light bulb. It's how it all connects. And what I found out is, it's a very typical customer example we use here. The strategy team often is very well connected to the customer. So they talk, they have different events where they meet, and it's all great. Now, on the other hand, we have the development team, and they have just regular meetings, and they get informed by the strategy team or by some kind of management layer, inform them what they have to develop as a next thing, as a next big thing out on the machines. We realized often there is no re-communication. There's really a gap like this one. So they are not talking to each other. And now let's introduce the fourth hack. And we need this one when we talk about a product. So it's all about placing it. Where does the product belong to? Is it belonging to the strategy team? Because the strategy team just thought about it. It was their idea. They were part of the innovation process. Or is it the development team? Because they created it, they had to produce it. Or does the product belong to the customer because he pays for it?
It's a little bit of everything there.
And that's in most cases really the standard. So we have our product here, and it is somewhere, but it's not very clear very often where it does belong to. So we just put it in here. And that's basically part of the discovery process to find that out. And in order to have the fifth hack in here, that's then when we can start a discussion to solve it. So we basically agree on something. So we need to structure it in order to work with our visual. And in order to structure it, I just draw a nice frame around it. And I can just visually show that this thing here is actually the problem. And we have to talk about if this could be our issue here. Who owns the product? Who owns the product? That's our the beginning of everything we have to solve, and we really invested 90% of the time to understand it. And now I'm curious how you drew it. Okay, so I mean, this is what I've got. This is what I've got here, and if everyone can see that, we'll see. Yeah. So great exercise. And you can use it everywhere with those 5 points. Make it human, label it, what does it mean, connect it, the relationship, place the thing somewhere to really understand where it belongs to, and structure the whole thing and give it a title. All you need is a digital drawing tablet and a good remote connection. And it makes live visualization really, for me, the life skill to really survive and innovate in this new world where we are all remote and we still need to innovate to create new things. I think it also makes meetings a little bit more fun as well. Just because it's human. People love humans, and when they draw, it is so human because you see people how they think. And there's one more thing I want to share with you, and that makes it really, from a business perspective of points, so valuable. And it's a research that took place in the 70s. The research is about how we remember things. So let's assume at the beginning, when we listen to something, in the ideal world, we remember 100%. And this is 50%. And over time, it's interesting what happens here. So after just 3 days, and that's what I found out. So 3 days, what do you think? And it's more rhetorical. After 3 days, how much we can remember of a thing we got presented if it was only text? 45%, maybe. It is actually 10% only when you have pure text. So just text. After 3 days, 10% you will remember. And now, when we think about doing it visually, and we just add another stack here. Oh, it's a bit too big, but it's like that. It's 65%. So 65% just by using visuals, drawing things, and really create meaning by using your hand and your visual language.
Oh, wow.
And this thing can really worth a lot of money, because 10% was 65%. What are the things that people will remember and tell and work with after a meeting? And to prove that it works, make the screenshot, and after 3 days, try to remember what we were talking today, and you will be surprised. You can retell it to anyone you meet, and you can discuss why live visualization is really the power skill of the future.
Well, I'm definitely using that in my next meeting. So thank you very much, Marko. And everyone can download Marko's 5 simple hacks in our virtual booth. And yeah, and try these out on your next virtual call, maybe instead of a PowerPoint, or yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, it was nice being your guest today.
So thank you for this great session, Marko. That was very informative. So shall we just have a direct look whether we have any questions, because we have 4 more minutes. Where is the booth? Somebody asks, where is the booth? I don't know. I guess after you leave this session, try to find the booth. This is a question, unfortunately, I can't answer.
I checked it before. Maybe I can answer that.
Oh, yes, please, Marko.
I went on the website, you find the area exhibition, and there's also one from Wacom for Business, and there you find all the material, and you can download it also from the other other companies.
Yeah, wow. Thanks a lot for doing my job. Very good. Okay, we have a couple of questions. Wow, there is quite a few questions coming in. Obviously, the interest is pretty high. What kind of hardware software do you use? Can I just use a pen?
You can just use a pen or pencil like I have here, but it is much better if you have some kind of tablet or drawing tablet. I use the Wacom One. So then you can move things around or enlarge it to make it to have a different focus. Use a tablet and your PC, Mac, and then you're ready to go.
Great. And software? Because it was a 2-part question.
Okay. Yeah, software, I use Concepts a lot. It's a vector-based tool, but you can also even draw in PowerPoint. So there's a possibility to draw. If you have a good pen, then you're ready to go, and you can just let your thoughts flow.
Yeah, I personally use a lot in PowerPoint, not because it's the greatest experience, but it's just useful to sketch out slides and then rebuild them. So I use that a lot for also visual thinking. Okay, next question. What was the last truly engaging online presentation you saw this year?
Actually, it was last Saturday. It was. I had an exam of my visual setting lecture at the University of Applied Science in Vienna, Neustadt, and we had 24 pitches. So they had to pitch their products and services, 10 minutes, everyone, and I learned so many things about recap, about software, health stuff, and the students, they really used tablets, Wacom, and it was so great to see them, how they applied all those things, and it was engaging. We had 5 hours, 5 hours, and everyone was just listening. It was amazing to that many different visual ideas.
Great. Yeah, I can imagine. So another question referring to the session. Hey, Marko, can you share these 5 hacks again? What do they fix in online meetings?
Yeah, basically the very first one is make it human. And that helps you to create meaningful conversations and really build a connection. Then label what you draw, label it to avoid misunderstandings and bring clarity. Connect it, so to understand the flow between the things and unwire also a bit of complexity and help people to understand it. Then comes the place it. You remember we place it on the screen and to set the focus, to really make it concrete. And the last thing is just bring it together, structure it, and to see the big picture, and at the end also reach commitment. That's where we want to go. And the beauty is then the people, they have less problems and understanding, and they can just be very effective with their time and do continue conversation afterwards.
Right. And again, I think you can get it at the booth. Obviously, it's in the exhibition area where there's the Welcome for Business booth. Everybody knows that. Okay. Yeah. You mentioned the death of leadership. How do we really avoid this online?
Yeah, the first thing is really to be ready to listen. First, listen to the conversation and then visualize the main impact points. And the beauty is then, even if you misunderstood something, the other person will recognize, you can correct, and you really set the focus of the conversation. And it's all brings you in a situation that you lead with a pen and also with a bit of fun. And that is really, really engaging.
All right. So, well, we have a couple of more questions. Unfortunately, we ran out of time, and in the interest of keeping this event running, we are asked to keep our sessions short and sweet, compact to 30 minutes. So thank you very much for attending. Thanks a lot, Marko, for joining this. That was great fun. I learned a lot, and have a great rest of Connected Ink. I think it's still running for something like 20 hours. From now?
Yeah.
On? Oh God. No, 18 hours. 18 more hours to go.
Okay.
Grab some coffee. Have some fun. Yeah, exactly. Thanks a lot, you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.